It's like a couple of years ago, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Doesn't time fly?
It does. It's such a beautiful day as well.
Whilst people
Join.
arrive, I'm going to take a photograph of our setup.
You know, yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
Actually, that's a good point.
People can see in my photo as well, they're next to a crooked hoe on the wall, so to speak.
It is like having it.
Look at the shape of that.
That's impressive. And we'll just see if anyone's actually going to join. But we can just go for it and talk about it and all sorts.
Definitely. Oh, we have 3 people.
There we go.
Unless it's just taking.
Oh look, you can see it. You can see it there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be good. There's a like. Thank you guys. I'm gonna put a link on the gram of Insta so people can watch it.
Oh, how do we?
22
do that?
people. I'm just done a screenshot. Do you want to? You can. There we go. Hello everyone. We're just getting everything together, so we'll be ready to go in a couple of moments. I'm just letting the people of the Instagram know. This is Sam, by the way.
Hello.
I'm Hugh.
Where is it? There it is.
Live.
So if
Now, so what I did was I screenshotted.
copy link.
Yes.
I'm going to post the photo I took of.
I love that.
For those who don't know, by the way, you're balanced on a little ladder right by the garden gate in
Yes.
the corner. Because if you're in full sun, we can't see anything on the screen.
I mean, honestly, this is what permaculture is. It's stacking functions, and we've stacked an iPad on a ladder, which is also holding other things. Because, as some of you may know, everyone's joining now. This is great. Hello from Alberta, Louise. Hi. Was that Lewis or Louise? It depends where the E begins and starts.
Who's the dyslexic here?
Me. No, it's you. I'm different.
Just
Tomorrow, this comes out in the UK, which is very exciting, and we thought we'd do a fun little live stream just to answer some of your questions. I've got a few from Instagram as well, and just have a little chat and ask away your questions. If you see me leaning in, it's because we are on an iPad, and also this is only possible because we have Starlink here.
not a paid sponsor, by the way.
Not at all. But it's because I remember in the Tregaron Garden there was no signal whatsoever, and it's so nice. I want to do more live streams here. Hello from the Hague. The Hague in Holland? The Hague. I don't know. With me, when I read a word that I don't know,
Yeah.
I will pronounce it as you would in Welsh, like phonetically.
Oh.
So I really struggle with trying to pronounce other names, particularly if they're English, and I don't know how to pronounce it. And then everyone like laughs at me. I was like, oh look, what's his name? Oh, hi Mika, and they're like, no, it's Micah. I'm like, oh sorry. So
hard being Welsh and dyslexic.
it is. Anyway, we're good. Well, yeah, that I'm not dyslexic. That's you. Which is amazing because you've written a book.
I know.
Well, more than one.
It's a miracle.
It is.
I even write my own name.
The really funny thing is, if some of you haven't seen it, Sam wrote a brilliant Substack article about how our... Give us a couple of minutes and then we'll start taking questions, but just like a little bit of context about this article, about how our work
Oh yeah.
styles are very different. Would you like to give us just a brief overview?
Yeah, brief overview. Well, actually, starting at the end result is usually that Hugh's approach towards deadlines is a little more adventurous than mine. Hugh tends to work in like waves of inspiration and energy towards things.
All or nothing.
Yeah, very much so, and gets a prolific amount of done when that strikes. But until that does strike, finds it almost impossible to force himself to sit and sort of chip away at something. Whereas I have to do that. Like I know that I don't have another gear, so when I have a project, I have to, break it down, chip away at it, and get it all done very a very kind of methodical way of working. So we're complete opposites to each other in that way,
Yeah.
which does create quite fertile ground in we can both cover each other's weaknesses, but it does also mean, as is the case with this book, that a few deadlines went sailing by.
I don't know what you're talking about.
and because our spreads, like we literally wrote, this book is done crop by crop, kind of a spread dedicated to each one, so or more than with some of them. So it meant that even though I'd gotten all my writing done like the good boy that I am, all on time and handed in, it all got held back whilst I was waiting for Hughes to deliver. So then right at the very end we had everything just dumped back on us all in one go, and it was rather frantic, wasn't it? You were just too distracted having a lovely time in the garden.
The thing is, what people don't know about me is I probably spend half of my time procrastinating, doing nothing. But that is me rebuilding my energy supplies to then do another hurrah. But we got it done in the end.
Yes, and the evidence.
Thanks to you.
The evidence is here.
How to grow food. And also, just if you see me looking down, I'm not being rude. I'm not addicted to social media. I'm reading your comments on my phone as proof, so it's easier to not miss anything. And I just wanted to say, we got people from Chicago. Rosemary says, "Afternoon, lads." The Corner House Project has just ordered our new book. Thank you. And Deb Vale says, "Yes, on procrastination strategy." So
if you're going to procrastinate either way, you've got to make sure it works for you.
yes,
I've just realised that if I sit like this, I have this fantastic little sticking out of my head.
that's fine. That looks good. That's like, like some people have like a little tuft. Like 3-year-old kids, they have their like little tuft of hair.
I'm long past my
Because
tuft
I
days.
remember my sister when she had like this little tuft, and it just reminds me of that because it's probably about the same colour. But that also, no, that was the one you made. Actually, that's your fault. You built that yesterday.
Yeah, caged in that perennial kale plant you can see back there.
Yes, exactly. So thank you everyone. We've got people from USA, Switzerland, Norwich. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to say good football team because that's all I hear people say about Norwich, whether they're good or not. That's not my kind of thing. And what's that yellow thing in the sky that we've got? What is that, Sam?
I can't look directly at it. I actually put sunscreen on today for the first time this year because we're both the kind of person that will burn the moment there's not at least like a mild thickness of cloud above us.
Yeah. It's nice. Send some sunshine. Yes, I'll try. But the issue is we've got abysmal weather. I looked at the forecast for tomorrow, like gusts of 50-mile-an-hour winds.
50.
50.
Oh wow.
Not 15. Anyway, we've got to please our publishers here, and we have to talk about the book if someone asks a question.
Okay.
And someone asked, is there anything about container gardening in the new book? Yes.
Funny you should ask.
Every single crop has a piece there on container growing using all of the info from the data. So what I decided to do is to try and standardize the container size. So use a potato bucket. So it's not about having a nice cute terracotta pot, but based on a potato bucket, and you can just adjust it as you wish. And that's the one thing, like in terms of gardening, people always say, "Oh, you write another book, what are you going to write about?" Like, can't do the same thing again. And that's what's really nice about our book, and that we'll talk about a lot in this live stream, about what's a bit different with it. But one of the things that I really wanted to get across is actually talk about container growing. So it is applicable.
Because that was one of the biggest focuses for us, particularly from the gardening side, compared to the previous book, was that the previous book was very much was trying to almost do a proof of concept that so much food could be grown in such a small space. And then the book was about, I suppose, the layout, the design, the development of that garden and how the kitchen complements it. and then of course it was sort of how you can therefore go and make that garden yourself.
Yeah.
This book is much more all of that research and information piled into a format that is more trying to help you make your own garden, as opposed to trying to like adapt this space to whatever you have.
Yeah.
I think that summarises it.
I think that's beautiful, and that's one of the things I wanted to get across as well, is the idea of splitting everything up into 3 stages of growing,
Yeah.
rather than like trying to get caught up. It's just like it's that whole simple thing. Sometimes I get like with those surges of energy, I'm like I want to do it and achieve it straight away, and then I get maybe a bit overwhelmed, rather than like how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so that's how I approached it. This here is growing Chinese cabbage, which is amazing, but every one I split it into 3 different stages, and then more container growing, so you can just focus on one thing at a time rather than kind of getting overwhelmed and looking at it all. And someone had just asked, and if we miss your questions, we won't be able to answer all, but we'll just try and keep on top of it. If your peas keep rotting when you sow them, use slightly drier compost, stop watering it as much, and maybe a little bit more heat so they can germinate sooner than they begin rotting. That's all I'd recommend. And I also keep you updated with questions as well,
Thank you.
because I'm kind and I'll look out for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't see anything, and I do not read very fast, so that's always the issue I have. If I have a live stream by myself, which is rare, I spend most of the time like just slowly going through questions and apologising.
Yeah, and just with the thing with talking about Chinese cabbage, and there's a kimchi recipe that Sam has. Look how beautiful. You're not bad at taking photos, by the way.
Thank you.
But with me wanting to split down how to grow something in 3 stages, it's kind of trying to follow the same approach as following a recipe, which is what you've done here. You split it into the defined areas, and I felt that was missing from a bit of the growing. So, yeah.
Yeah, funnily, it's like a combined approach to food.
Yeah.
In both areas, the garden and the kitchen.
Yeah. There's a question. You could probably answer this. I'll put you on the spot.
Oh God, okay.
Are you planning on making more videos on the rest of the garden rather than only the secret garden to show different ways of growing food?
Why is that putting me on the spot?
I don't know. Like, you tell me. What am I doing?
What are you doing?
Should I show more, or is there another place people could go? That's a trick question.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I never go to. Yes. No, you can give the spiel on that.
Yeah. We are trying to. I mean, you're actually going to be filming one of the projects here, because we're doing a little market garden this year, which you're going to be capturing and putting a bit on Instagram, which will be really nice. As you know how arty Sam is, and everything he makes is beautiful. So if you're wanting to collect artwork, just take screenshots of his feed. But there are a few different projects happening here, but not all of them I'd say are suitable for my main channel. Particularly, the rest of the site now is gearing towards the plant nursery of Dovey plants. So it's all kind of starting to go towards that. But there is going to be crossover as things begin to mature more, particularly around the different perennial vegetables, and we're just having a lot more nooks and crannies.
Yeah.
Like, even you have your own garden.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you tell us a bit about your garden?
Lovely little space that, when Hugh kindly donated it to me, it had been a bit abandoned by the previous person, so it was very overgrown. And by the time I really got stuck in and cleared a lot of what needed clearing, rebuilt an entire wall, sorted the fence and the gates out, we were well and truly into the growing season. So we're a little bit behind, but luckily I know a guy who owns a plant nursery, so I asked nicely and then stole a bit and filled the garden up all beautifully. And actually, even though we were so far behind, we managed to grow a huge amount of food, and it's smaller than this space as well.
It's such a cute little polytunnel as well.
Including melons. We grew melons, and they started really late in the season. You'd have been able to grow them too if someone hadn't pulled them out thinking it was a weed.
That was not me. Oh, I don't even know what they do in my garden. Sure.
I wasn't going to do.
It's fine. It's fine. It's joking. Yeah, your garden is so productive. I remember I couldn't keep up with how many like peppers and stuff you seem to be growing.
I've never known. Yeah, we grew 2 padron and 2 lemon drop, and I've never. We spaced it all out kind of in front of the row of tomatoes in the tunnel, and I didn't anticipate the padrons actually getting taller than I am, and I'm 6 foot, so they were in a raised bed obviously, but apart from that,
Yeah.
I've never known padrons get that big. Not here in Wales anyway.
It was impressive.
Prolific amount of food.
It was really cool.
Yeah, and lots of tomatoes that we contributed to a tomato tasting event that was very nice as well.
It was.
Yeah, but as far as we're talking more about the site in general,
Yeah.
we do all sorts of stuff here. We're gradually transitioning the entire site towards stubby plants, and also kind of market gardening for local shops and a couple of restaurants, because we want the site to actually, the company to also make income from the land, because it's quite an important part of it, and
Yes.
also be able to provide to our local community.
Yeah.
But as far as gardens go, Hugh's got probably another top secret project that I'm not allowed to talk about, which is why I was hesitant answering when he was live.
Oh, well, the thing I was working on earlier today. Which top?
Yes.
Yes.
That one, yes, that one.
There's a few different projects happening. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. Someone has just asked, would the book work for other climates? I live in South Finland, so the growing times are a bit different. What this book is really good at doing is not limiting it to a UK climate or to certain zones. So every crop is based off frost dates. So even if you're in zone 4 or zone 5, you can still use it. And I think that that's kind of key, because one thing that I found really interesting, particularly like some places in America or more like continental Europe, is sometimes we have later frosts.
Yeah.
They actually have a nicer growing season. The difference is they just have a much harsher winter. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. The crops all have info on hardiness and basically when to start them compared to like your frost dates, and also how many weeks it takes to mature. So you can just think and plan ahead, just to try and make it as accessible as possible. That's
Yeah.
like been my big goal.
That was one of the first decisions we made about overall book structure. Was that how the previous one was done, kind of a month by month, like guiding you through the growing season, whereas this one is crop by crop. So in a way, it's more directly useful. You're not waiting for anything. You can start it at any time of year, and you can target whatever the crop is that you really want to focus in on. You don't have to kind of think, oh, what am I doing to tomatoes in spring? Okay, now let's flip through to summer and see what I have to be doing later on.
Yes. Yeah, I really like that, because if you pass me the self-sufficiency, please. This, as a lot of you will realise or recognise, is the proof of concept of the very garden that we're in, of growing over 6,000 portions of veg. And it shows you month by month. So this is here as a case study to tell, I wanted to do it really to tell the naysayers that it can be done. That was a big thing. But then we realised that whilst it's really useful, not everyone's garden is like this, not everyone is at the same stage or process. And so what we missed, well, we couldn't fit in any more into this, but instead we created an opportunity to then create this as something a lot more practical and adaptable to your own garden and kitchen, which is what I love so much about it. And a lot of people have been commenting about how much they love that format of having the crop and then not having to go searching for how to use it in the kitchen. It's just right there.
Yeah, and that was my approach to the recipe writing of this, was to be really like keenly aware of how the kitchen, well, A, has to serve you, and I'm aware that most people who are growing food are gardeners first and foremost, so they don't want to spend all the time in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So partly there was that pressure, and partly it was how to make the kitchen best serve the garden and which recipes therefore to include. Now there are obviously kind of like nice big showcase recipes, my favourite things that I make year on year from the produce that we grow, but there's also preserving recipes. There's also the big chart in the back that has all that key information around around storage.
Sam, can you actually do a book without doing a big chart? Sorry, I cut across you then. I was just like, there's more pages.
Yeah, I don't know how many pages.
There's more on the other side.
Well. But that covers like all the main. That's like all the stuff that I ran out of words fitting into the rest of it.
It's so true.
Yeah. It's like if you want to write some really good, like, bulletproof recipes to make really tasty food, that's your word count gone. And I'm sharing half the word count with him, and he can talk a lot about gardening. How many books have you written?
This is number 6.
And he's still not run out of words about gardening.
No.
So I'm sharing with that.
Yes.
Who also secretly added to his growing list without telling me. So at the beginning of the process, he wrote down this list of crops he wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
Handed it over to me. I then planned out all the recipes I wanted to cover, with the main objective being that I wanted each one to kind of focus on a different, or at least adjacent, kitchen technique. So like fennel could be braised, and then you've now learnt how to braise, and there's like a list of other ingredients that's now applicable to. Likewise for steaming, roasting, whatever else you're doing.
Yeah.
So I went all this meticulously planned sewing list, came up with all my recipes, and then this time last year was taken out of action because I was in and out of hospital a couple of times. Unbeknownst to me, he's gotten sewing at the potting bench, gotten carried away, started sewing all sorts of other plants that weren't on the original list.
I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Which I didn't find out I had to write recipes for until right at the end of the process, when our editor Lucy sent me an email saying, "Oh, there seem to be some recipes missing. Here's a list for you of everything that's missing." And I had a very frantic week.
Yeah, it was a frantic week. I actually felt terrible, but I think it was just one of my surges of, oh, I'll let Sam know, and then I just completely forgot because I was already on to the next thing.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, it's my fault. I was out of action.
That's fine.
I shouldn't leave you unattended.
That's fine.
At the potting bench.
Oh, Will has just joined in, saying hello from the same garden. We love the book, which is very, very sweet. Will.
Hello, Will.
He said that 5 minutes too early, because on the contract I told him he has to like start promoting the book after.
People don't know you're joking.
Yeah, don't take me seriously. By the way, if you're enjoying this, please give it a thumbs up, because apparently it helps send this out more. It makes it apparently more relevant. I'm good on the hard sale.
Yeah,
I try.
it's good.
I just like do a cheeky little smile. Come on, thumbs up. Come on,
One of us.
because it's sunny. There we go. 43 to 60. That is how you do it.
Thank you very much.
Right, buy a book. No, I'm kidding. A lot of people have pre-ordered, which is really cool.
I don't know if have we said yet that it's out tomorrow?
Oh yeah, it was tomorrow that it's out, which is hugely exciting. I want to film a little thing after, just as a reel, to say thank you to everyone who has pre-ordered, because tomorrow over 1,000 people are going to be getting their copy arrive on the front door.
Some people it's arriving early as well. So
I know.
If you have pre-ordered, keep an eye out.
And it is the 17th in America, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a random photo from my grandma last week saying, "Here's your book." I don't know how she got her hands on it, like a week early.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's funny because people started tagging me in a couple of stories. I was like, I don't want to share it just yet, because people are like, well, where's my copy? And I was like, I don't want to start doing customer relations.
You are personally responsible for everyone's copies.
No, sometimes it's like that.
I know.
I remember. Right, I'm gonna just like say this as a very simple thing, and this is like for all authors. The best way, and this is like, there's been some great gardening books out. For example, Millie Proust's book about flowers is absolutely gorgeous. Or like Henry Aggs' The Weekend Gardener. if you like an author, the absolute best way you can support them is leaving an honest Amazon review. It helps so much. Like if you enjoy the book, leave the review. If you have a couple of points where you're like, oh, maybe next time do this, just be honest. That's what I'm saying. The issue is, and this is what reminded me, is that I think it was maybe our book, our last book, someone wrote an Amazon 1-star rating because it got damaged on transit. And that was nothing to do with us. And that has a massive negative effect on the total like rating. So
yeah, people don't realise, do they?
No.
They think they're responding to Amazon, but really it's the author and the publisher that suffer because of it.
yeah, it is. So yeah, if there's an author that you really support, give them a Amazon review. Here's a little thing. Oh, someone else is an author, not gardening, but reviews are helpful. Exactly. It's the same thing like with just local businesses, even on Google, just going up and giving them a little review. And it's that social proof side that makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Someone here said, I just want to say, I love the content that you make. Unfortunately, I live in an apartment and have no garden. I dream of having a kitchen garden like yours one day. Keep up the good work. What I would say is nice about this. Oh, someone has just commented on a different video. I love you. I love Sam. See? People love you, Sam. I've been trying to tell you. You know it. But what's nice with this book, and it just kind of reminded me, is that there's some people who don't have gardens but they might get a veg box from a community garden in the area, and one of the things that is really nice as a slight twist, and maybe thinking about some of your audience, is they're foodies. And they love flavour. And what is so nice about this is you're like, well, if you grow the ingredients, that is how you have the tastiest meals.
Absolutely.
So that I think is so important, and it is that thing of I mean, I don't think I've said it on my channel yet, or maybe like one of our previous live streams, but the quality of a recipe or a meal is limited by the quality of its ingredients, and that's a luxury of being able, even if you can't grow it yourself. There's amazing community gardens, community supported agriculture networks. Even like now you can even just get stuff from an organic farm, even if it's like on the other side of the country, but it sends it overnight, and you're supporting something that is away from the big industrial food system, which helps more than anything.
Yeah,
So
and they're probably going to be growing similar sorts of vegetables to us, so
yes,
you know the recipes will work with them.
and if you get something like a kohlrabi come through your door, you're like, what do you do with this? Well, you got to look.
It's a weird looking alien
Yes.
broccoli thing.
Yeah. Oh, this is really sweet. I was talking with a co-worker recently about pickling and stuff, and he very strongly recommended the Fermentation Kitchen. Someone's co-worker recommended your book. He showed me the cover and I went, Sam Cooper, I know this guy.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much.
Yes. Someone said here as well that councils should support local organic growers. There is a massive issue now with I think they've redone the sustainable farming scheme, but it's only accessible to farms over 3 hectares. But the vast majority of market gardens and veg farms are under that size, so they can't benefit. It's that stupid thing of size means more. But actually, I would argue that a lot of these market gardens are far more productive in terms of yield, quantity, community benefit than like a 500-acre farm on a moor.
But
Just has a few sheep.
Is that the benefit they're after?
I don't know. That's the question.
I don't think it is.
So, yes. Anyway, someone also asked before, what's the difference between a kitchen garden and a market garden? A kitchen garden is one for like personal use, or maybe for like a smaller thing like a hotel. It has its own kitchen garden. A market garden is more, you're going to take that to a farmer's market. You're going to be supplying establishments beyond your immediate surroundings. Someone here asked about any tips on growing raspberries. and I would just say grow autumn raspberries.
Yeah.
Do you remember how
Last year they started in spring.
they're like,
It's amazing.
well, we might as well practice now.
Yeah. Like, here you go. Oh, that's nice. And they were tasty. Sometimes when things grow a bit early, you try it and it's just sour. But no, autumn raspberries, yeah. Stick them in, and each year, well, here each year we just drive over it and ride on lawnmower just to cut them all back, and then they shoot up again the following year.
I love them. I need to apologise. I accidentally deleted Morag Potter's email comment saying my book came on Monday. Thank you. I didn't mean to delete it. Please forgive me. I
It's a
blame my
personal-
thumbs.
It's the beginning of a feud,
Yes.
a personal vendetta with Hugh Richards.
But what I'd recommend with the autumn raspberries, they're so much easier to maintain. They're also a little bit shorter, so you don't have to support them. In terms of maintenance, you just like mow them at ground level over winter, and they pop up again. And like different full gold or all gold are great because they're yellow. And everyone was like, "What are these?" when we were taking them into our local greengrocers. They're like, "What is this?" I'm like, "It's a yellow raspberry." And I had 10 people in one day ask about what they were. So it then inspired me to make a video about it. I think that we filmed. And that had over 100,000 views about this underrated fruit everyone should know.
And that's the joy of growing it yourself, you know. Like, I talk to friends who are chefs and people all the time,
Yeah,
and just the thing that they're always asking me is like different, like niche versions or varieties of things
beautiful yellow raspberries. Yeah,
that we're growing and that we're using, or that they've seen me post about or whatever. That people just think that like tomatoes are a certain way because they come from a shop like that, or raspberries are a certain way. They have no idea that there are so many different varieties and so many different flavors within those different varieties.
yeah, exactly. And one of the things that like I also wanted to really get across in the growing is adding the recommended varieties that we grow here. So
See Golden Everest.
Golden Everest, exactly. That's a great summer one. Polka is great. Joan J, I think that one doesn't have any spikes on, which means it's a really nice thing to add as like a leafy filler for bouquets and stuff, which is quite fun. So
And you can eat raspberries,
yes, and make a nice tea.
oxidize them, yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. There you go. Morag Potter was wondering where that comment had gone. Nearly lost a subscriber there.
Yeah, it's not nothing personal. He's just got big thumbs, so he's
Yes.
swiping all over the place.
Yes, exactly. Just trying to make sure we're trying to get as many things as possible in. Maybe we could give like a little, like just a quick overview of how to use this book and what we cover. I'll pick cabbage, for example, because we're speaking about Chinese cabbage, but I want you to talk about that recipe.
Okay, yeah.
But basically, the layout is made to be as simple as possible. So at the start there is sowing and growing information. So everything is actually scaled to a square meter. And the idea with that is that it gives you the amount of plants per square meter. So this for cabbage is 5. Gives you an average yield per square meter. Sowing depth, hardiness, water needs, all of that. Then all of the recommended varieties. And the idea with giving you the spacings and also how many per square meter is that when you look at your garden and you're like, oh, this bed is 2 or 3 square meters, you think, I could put 15 cabbages in here. That will give me this amount. And just keep it really simple. And then it goes into the growing, 3 stages, container growing, harvest tips. Sometimes there are like additional harvests that you might not know about. And then always like a lookout for a bit of pest and disease control, which is important because it does happen. But I found the best way to help control pests and diseases is to not grow everything in one space and to have as many beautiful flowers and aromatic herbs around the garden as possible, which also makes it look beautiful.
Look possible. Feel possible. Look
Yes.
beautiful.
And how have you approached like the recipe side?
Well, yeah, it's like I said. There's everything that can't be fitted on the spread itself is put in the back in the table, but the majority of the recipes are tailored towards what is coming out of the garden. So if what you've grown, for example, like with the Chinese cabbage, you have to harvest that whole head in one go.
Yeah.
There's a recipe that breaks that down into a couple of portions, where for that in particular we have a style of Japanese pancake, which funnily enough I first tried when Hugh and I were in London following the publication of Self-Sufficiency Garden. We went to, I think it was like London's first Japanese run okonomiyaki pancake
Yeah.
restaurant called Obeno.
That was stunning.
And we had these beautiful pancakes that are like big, thick cabbage fried pancakes with all sorts of toppings on. And I fell in love with it, so I went away and learned how to make them and decided to put that in there. But a lot of the recipes are, they're either taking, if you've got a plant where you're likely to be getting quite a small harvest, the recipe will be designed to really maximise the use of
Can I
that.
show this one?
Go for it.
Like the cheesecake with blueberry coulis. Look
So
at
you
that.
have the coulis recipe,
Yeah.
and then you have a way to use it as
It's
well.
really nice in the dappled shade from the rose, isn't it? It's just emerging and
Yeah, thankfully the roses has sprung back into life.
yeah.
But then of course you have other ones where you've got gluts, and you're going to get very, for example,
Like look at this. Gooseberry curd.
yes,
You're a wizard, Sam.
you're going to want to know how to. And the thing I like about the gooseberry curd as well is that it occupies that gap in
Yeah.
where we don't really get citrus unless we're importing it. So it's quite nice taking advantage of things like gooseberries, things like rhubarb, and particularly rhubarb. I can't even remember what the recipe is in there for the rhubarb. I think it's a chutney.
Yeah, it's a chutney one.
It's a chutney. So I always feel that rhubarb is like, particularly in Wales or in Britain, rhubarb is kind of like our equivalent to citrus, to lemon, because it's so acidic. And we think of it as a sweet thing, we treat it as a fruit all the time, but it's a stem vegetable. So
Yeah.
I actually think there's ways that we can use it, for example in the chutney recipe in this book, that naturally lend itself to adding acidity to savoury dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Do
yeah,
you want to? Sorry, it's based on rhubarb. The interesting rhubarb experience you had at Hampton Manor.
Yeah,
Because Sam
well-
did a fermentation. I'll let you say it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Hampton Manor, the restaurant's called Grace and Savour, which is quite nice because the idea of it is the seasonality, that grace is when the garden is abundant and it's giving you,
Yes.
and savour is the act of preserving and capturing stuff and really eking it out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did a fermentation miso and koji workshop there over the weekend, and they've got the Grace and Savour restaurant's 2 Michelin star place, and they just put me and my wife up and gave us a nice meal there. And for one of the dessert courses, the head chef came out and was explaining what everything was and poured some things on and was like, and it's got some rhubarb root oil. And I stopped him and said, "Did you say rhubarb root?" He was like, yeah, highly toxic. If you heat it up, it'll give you kidney failure." But luckily the dessert's chilled, so you're fine.
I love that.
Yeah, so I never knew.
Yeah.
I'm not, don't go
You're
ahead
not
and make
advocating
it. No,
it.
I'm not telling you how to make it. He told me,
Yeah.
but I'm not telling you how to make it because it can go wrong.
Yes. It's cool though. It's kind of crazy. Some people like those kind of
Yeah,
experiences.
well, he brought a little extra bowl of it over so he could try it as it was. It was quite
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, it was like can't describe the flavour.
Someone said, "So glad it's based on 1 square meter." So I'm glad you enjoy that. I do think that it's like really. I don't know what you guys think, but I think there's like a whole book in square meter gardening versus square foot gardening. But I feel like people would say, "Oh, you're just ripping off square foot gardening." But I just think it's more applicable for, say, Europe and the UK, but also it's a different scale of growing, because square foot is really about like much smaller gardens versus like if you want something impactful. And someone commented earlier that I missed was like, what if you're busy? What if you have a busy life? You can't maybe focus on 16 like square feet in this one bed and all these little things. Sometimes it's actually just easy to say, you know what, I'm just going to put carrots there, just a square meter of carrots. And the nice thing about carrots is you can, obviously you've got the leaves that you can turn into pesto and freeze, but also you can harvest the carrots as they come about. So sometimes that simplicity helps more, and there's nothing stopping you than having a little strip of something in between.
Yeah.
But I think working in that kind of scale is quite useful.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this might say more about me, but I find it far, compared to how most of my friends, not the Sheffield lot, but most of my friends who are normal people rely on like veg box deliveries and subscription things. They order things online and it all turns up kind of portioned for them, but they have to pick what they want going in there. I personally find it so much harder, the thought of sitting in front of my laptop and figuring out what I want to have for the whole week, than coming up with a sewing list once a year and sticking to it. You know, that's how this garden was first established, was you came up with this whole sewing list, like way back when, you know, for the first book.
2022.
You came up with the planning and that was the work done. After that it was just...
There's a monthly plan.
Yeah, after that it was, all right, we'll go do five minutes of sewing. Those things need, you know, potting on or whatever.
It was like I had a manager just say, no, you need to do this. Oh, okay, sure. It's just old me.
Yeah.
Bossing future Hugh around. Someone asked, what are you all most excited to grow this season? I'm looking forward to more beetroot again. I've just become obsessed with beetroot and peas, personally, because they're going to come in fairly soonish. I don't know. I've barely had a chance to even think about it, to be honest, because it's been...
Yeah, I can't believe we're
mid-March.
yeah.
It's like there's warmth in the air, which is nice, but it's also full spring because we still have potentially at worst another couple of months of frost risk, but all the hardy stuff is coming through nicely.
Yeah, I always look forward to tomatoes, and every year I try new varieties. As I mentioned earlier, we do like a tomato tasting event with some of the local growers, and actually people from Ivor's seed bank and that lot, that they will come and they trial different blight resistance and new varieties that aren't sort of available yet. They all bring them along, and we have like a big tomato tasting trial and provide like feedback. It's all very proper. It's all kind of clipboards and ticking boxes, and you've got this big,
Of course,
flavour wheel and stuff. I teach them all how to detect the aromatics and things, and then we just have a big feast with tomatoes afterwards. But last year I was making notes, and I've sourced some of the seeds from one of my favourite cherry tomato varieties from that tasting event that I want to grow this year, which is called Mango Lassi.
what a name!
Which has a
Sounds
really
like a dog's name.
It has a really, I think there's a drink called Mango Lassi.
Oh, okay.
There's a very distinct mango flavour to it, very tropical mango-y flavour, very sweet cherry tomato, almost as sweet as honeycomb, if you've ever grown the lip orange honeycombs or sakura.
Yes, you have to grow honeycomb.
Oh, I will.
That was a lot of fun. Someone asked, hey professionals, why some plants grow better if you just yeet the seeds randomly, and some grow in a fine row, and some grow fine in a row? I think it's just based on, there are some seeds that, it's all the things that just self-seed and they'll pop up, like nasturtiums, coriander, dill, those kind of things, borage, calendula, where you're not even trying and they're just going to pop up, and they're like those hardy annuals. There's others that a little bit more fussy, or like if it's peas or something's going to come through and eat them. There is that kind of idea of chaos gardening where you can mix some seeds together, throw it about. I would just recommend raking it in so you have a bit better soil contact. But the healthiest plants you can grow are going to come from direct sowing, because when you direct sow plants, and this includes obviously the self-seeders, that's why like the biggest cherry. I don't know if you remember it.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to me last year. That I had a tomato plant that had self-sown in the tunnel, and it hadn't even managed to self-sow in the bed. So it had self-sown in the path, and then like grew its way underneath the plank of wood that was the edge of the bed. And it just kind of came up. I just thought, I'll leave it. I'll keep it like narrow so I can still get past.
Yes.
Produce some of the best tomatoes. I have no idea what variety it was.
No, and that's the thing. That cherry tomato in the polycrop was like a tree, and that was self-sown. And the reason why is, and this is like kind of the thing I'm trying to think about with this garden this year. So this blank canvas is very exciting. Is what am I gonna just direct sow and just be a little bit more patient? But it's because the roots have unlimited access from day dot, and there's no like transplant shock. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of direct sowing when possible, but I'm also a huge fan of module sowing and succession sowing and transplanting and gardening, funnily enough.
This is why he gets carried away.
What was I saying? I'm kidding. Someone has been asking about a Koya tomato. Never heard of it. Samantha, did you build your polytunnel? And we've built one polytunnel. That one was built by First Tunnels, and they have a lot of resources on how to build a polytunnel and some YouTube videos. So that is where you can.
You can actually see their sign.
Oh yeah, First Tunnels.
It's just there.
They've done a lot of tunnel. They've done a big 60-foot polytunnel for the plant nursery, which is big, and it's already it's full of plants. That's the thing. We need more space.
We need more space, or we need to sell more.
Well, Sam, have you seen the orders we've had? This is all today.
Yes, we need to sell more.
We need to get someone to like just help with packing. How many orders have you had today?
Sure.
Since yesterday, about 50 or so. So thank you for your support. It's nice though, with
What was the name? Sorry, I didn't write it down. First Tunnels, is that?
First Tunnels, yeah, or maybe the honeycomb.
Oh, yeah. Do you mean the tunnels, or do you mean the tomatoes?
Yes, I'll keep an eye on that. Yes, and by the way, we're gonna finish at 2, so it's gonna be an hour-long live stream. So just make sure if you have any questions, put them in, and we'll try and help as much as possible. But someone just said, I just ordered all of your books. Thank you for all the info. Wow.
That's potentially a lot of books.
That's potentially a lot of books.
That's like a whole shelf.
Yes, and if you're a gardener and you don't know about Sam's other books, like the Fermentation Kitchen, then that's pretty cool. But maybe get someone to gift that to you, because that's a lot. Someone said, the person was asking about the tunnel. So yeah, First Tunnels, brilliant. We've, yeah, they're great. Easy peasy. Not even sponsored. Just love what they do. It's like when you find a good company that makes something that works, like container-wise in those trays.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need anything else. That's very kind, Samantha, thank you. The books do help massively, and as like maybe some of you have joined since, but like the best way to help an author is leaving an honest review. So if you ever have time and you've got our book coming and you have time in the next couple of weeks to do that, that would be a massive help. Thank you. But what I was saying about the thing that's so nice about Dovey Plants, and maybe some of you don't really realise this. So this site here, yes, we've got this garden. There's another garden being built behind around the greenhouse, which is just poking out there. I'm trying to do this backwards. It's hard.
It's really hard. I had to do the sign.
I was like, I thought I was going to accidentally poke you. But this whole site is developing around the plant nursery of Dovey Plants, and the goal is trying to make plants from resilient, edible landscapes and gardens more accessible, because they're really hard to get a hold of, and it's hard because the demand is so high, but it's also like exciting. But that's what I'd say the majority of my focus is on outside of the books and YouTube. Really is for that, because it's such a nice tangible feeling of sending these plants out to people that they can then propagate, or a lot of them will self-sow, like the Chinese garlic crest there, like
Oh yeah.
all of these fun things.
You've got red vein sorrel that's found its way.
I
down
have
under your
actually.
gate.
We,
I don't know how
we
it
just
got there.
it just run out of stock last night as well.
There's more over there.
That's great.
Yeah,
It's
you
cool.
We'll
Everything's
just steal it
self-seeding.
off your garden.
Yes, that's what we have been doing actually. Morag has one of your books, Sam, which is cool.
Oh, thank you very much.
Which fruit or veg do you wish you could grow in the UK that you can in other climates?
Well, I know one that I'm trying to grow.
What's that?
Persimmon.
Oh yeah.
Got a persimmon tree that Hugh very kindly bought last year. I think as a welcome back to the garden after my little adventures in hospital, and it managed to produce. Yeah, it stayed in the tunnel. You wouldn't let anyone else plant it.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. I was like, what are you on
Yeah,
about?
and it did well, but it struggles, and all the leaves have this like black sort of disease on them, but not enough to like really not enough to kill it, but to hinder it enough that when it's producing fruit, I think it struggles to really ripen them properly. And I've since read that a lot of persimmon have that problem, particularly in parts of the UK, because of the humidity and because we have annoying frost dates, but we don't get that cold, particularly because we're close to the sea. And because we don't get very cold in the winter, we have the double whammy where a lot of the disease pressure isn't as reset as in other places.
It's like the old garden, my parents' place.
Yeah, wow, that was free solid. So yeah, we're kind of doing battle where we have quite late frost. Well, we have quite an early frost in autumn, and quite a late frost, final frost date, but then a sort of tepid winter.
Yeah, wet.
So yeah, I'm doing battle with persimmon. I want that to work well.
That sounds cool. I like
What
that.
about you?
I don't know. Don't know where to start. Got a lot of well, there's a lot of things that we're sowing and trialing for the nursery to see how those do. But I think this year it's just like there's so many things I've been doing new. There's just like some things like tiger nuts, trying out those. These like little tubers. I'll be a bit different, but it's easy to just get distracted and always want more new things. And we've got like a couple of extra new perennial kales to try out. But really, I'm just trying to like refine a lot of what we do have growing and like how to then build upon. Like, I was really pleased with the Chinese artichokes this year. They were a lot more productive than when I tried before. And also things, certain types of fruits like Worcesterberry, been propagating that, building up the mother plants, propagated more this year, and hopefully in a year or two we can start selling that as a soft fruit, which is pretty much impossible to get in the UK, but it's a native fruit here. So just all that, I think that's like really cool, the ability of like bringing things back into the mainstream, of that, having those flavours that you just can't get in a supermarket, which is always fun. So yes, someone asked about growing loofahs. I've never actually tried growing loofahs. A lot of people do, but I'm like, you're just going to grow a sponge, really. The issue is though, loofah sponges are washing up and mighty expensive, so that could be one of the highest value crops if you can grow it well.
Yeah. Cheap postage as well, because it's so light.
Yes. Susie asked, will you be doing more travel / garden tours this year? I really hope so. I found that I was thinking about this. There's some that I want to revisit, which will be nice. But the really hard part is trying to I know there's loads out there, but it's trying to find them, because sometimes some of the best ones aren't anywhere on social media. And so unless someone tells me, it's like, it's really hard to find. Like maybe I should just get someone to like for a month as like a little freelance contract job, to just research as many gardens as possible, like looking through NGS, National Garden Scheme guides, different things like that, to actually create a list, because unfortunately it's really time consuming, but I know they're out there, which I find frustrating, because I just want to go and film, and you edit them because you make them look beautiful.
But it's also helpful that you film them very well. We have
Stop it.
we have a particular camera that I send them off with called a C70, which is our slow-mo camera.
Yes.
For all the like, lovely arty shots of like bees flying around and stuff. But it's great because like 1 second of filming is about 10 seconds of footage. So Hugh just goes wild for about half an hour with it, and I have almost an entire movie's worth of footage to play with.
Yes, you do. Someone asked, I've never heard of it being too warm to grow apples. How hot does it get where you live? I'm not sure, maybe you misheard if we said something.
That was another comment. Someone said they wish they could grow apples.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, fair play.
I saw that pop up.
That's great. You've saved me. How hot does it get here? Not particularly. There'll be like 2 or 3 days where it might hit 30 degrees Celsius. And here in Wales, because it's very humid,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like 30 degrees Celsius in Italy is gorgeous. 30 degrees Celsius in Wales is... It's like being on the London Underground.
It's stifling, yeah.
You can't breathe, which is fun. So, yeah. Is there anything you want to say to anyone about the book and what it means to you as we round off our celebration?
All I would say, I mean, talking to a largely gardening audience here, you already know that this book is going to be about the best food that you can possibly get your hands on. And for my part in it, I hope I have done my job in sharing how you can like, truly make the most of those ingredients once you've got them in your kitchen.
Yeah.
That's my message, and thank you. Whether you choose to support it or not, thank you for
Thanks.
joining us here.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us. I think from my case is, it's kind of funny. Some of you might not be aware of the struggle that we've had of trying to get this concept
Oh yeah.
to work, because there were like bookshops are like, so we put it in the kitchen or the garden section, and we're like, well, both. Unfortunately, we can't get away with that, and I just thought we'd maybe unlocked like by what's it called, a fusion.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe this is the way to write a book.
Yeah.
But what I'm like really pleased about this, because of the initial support from people and some of the people who've already had an early copy, and the feedback is, it is a risk. It is a massive risk writing a book that includes the kitchen and the garden together. But I kind of felt that a lot of the ones that have existed in the past, there's some great classics out there, like Food from Your Garden, I think, that my parents have, that's like 50 years old and brilliant. But some things are just like too salady. And other things as well, just because for me, growing food is a skill that every year slowly improves. And what I love so much about what you've done with pretty much everything, apart from just 2 different variants of the same thing, which to me, as a gardener, is 2 different techniques, is every single recipe teaches a new skill and technique that you can apply to things beyond that ingredient that it applies for. And I think that's so...
I really want to factor in just how versatile the kitchen can be, and how easy it is to be versatile in the kitchen. So yeah, it does. It covers a lot of that stuff. There was something else I was going to say when you were talking. I can't remember what it was now.
That's all right. Someone said that we should have bookshops, should put them in the cooking section to get people inspired to grow if they aren't already.
Definitely, yeah. And the gardening section. Try and get more gardeners
to like
in
just
the kitchen.
Yeah, like you've grown the best tasting food in your community, bar other gardeners, and so the actual trick is a lot of recipes tailored to try and like deal with quite bland produce from a supermarket.
Yeah.
and you don't need to try that hard
Yeah.
when you've grown your own.
Yeah,
So it's a
it's
different
so easy.
approach
It's
to,
so easy.
to it.
Like I've done like tasting events and workshops with people who are kind of in my industry, or at least the industry I used to be in. And I've brought samples along, and I've not told them that I've made, this sauce or whatever it is using my homegrown tomatoes. I just say, oh, it's a tomato and chili sauce or something. And the look on their face when they try a bit of it, and they're like, how does it taste? Like, what have you done to that? They think there's some secret magic thing I've added to it. And they just can't believe when I say, well, it's just because I harvested it yesterday from the garden.
Yeah,
And I've made this out of it now.
yeah.
I think it says more about the industry
Yes.
and the current state of things in food that it freaks people out so much.
Potato buns.
That it freaks people out so much having recipes and growing in one
Yeah.
book.
But for us, it's like the same process. Gardening finishes when the food is in your belly, in a way, and cooking starts when you sow those seeds. So if you agree with that, give this a thumbs up. By the way, and I'm just genuinely excited. It's always like nervous, like, because this is going out into the big wide world, at least in the UK tomorrow, and it's like exposing something that you love and care, and just say like, right, it's over to you now. It's time. It's like fledging the nest.
Yeah. Whereas
How are you feeling about it?
I'm really calm. But I feel like for me I feel calm about it because I know I am absolutely confident that we've put together something very worthwhile, that I know the people who get it will find it absolutely invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
And for me that's enough. I'm not trying to impress everyone out there. I'm
No.
like,
You impress no one.
I'm like, these are my people, and I know, because they've told me for years now, I know exactly what I think will be worthwhile to them. So
Yeah,
this is that.
these are your people. I love that. So thank you, everyone, and for those of you who are getting a copy tomorrow, we hope you love it.
We know you will.
You will love it. It's definitely word for word the most info I've been able to cram into a book because you took half of it.
Got to share it with me.
And so, yes,
Well, you kept adding crops. It's your own fault.
we'll have this argument afterwards.
Yeah, let's get offline.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye bye. Right, how do I actually end this? There we go. Bye, guys.